at the Cape Lutheran Institute. And Cape Systems is really just taking some of the systems that we've created here and promoting them out across the archipelago. So, the central idea of, how this next generation can learn how to live more sustainably is what it's all about.
So I was wondering if you had essentially any practical tips, pearls of wisdom for the audience, so that they can really, get a little taste of what it would be like if they were to be a student and go through the process here, what they can take home with them.
That's a really good question. Our students find it really challenging because they work here and research that really does make a difference for this place. And then they go back to these big places like Nassau and New York City, and it's really hard for them to feel like they can have that same kind of impact. And so our advice is really to just take some baby steps. There's little things that you can do. A great story I heard from a father is that his daughter's back and, really fired up about the environment. They live in a big building in New York City, and she said, "Dad, we got to stop buying water bottles, plastic water bottles. Let's get one of these big 5-gallon jugs, and that'll save a lot of trash going to the landfill." And so that's an example of a little thing that kids can do and people can do to take care of the environment.
Any others, though? I know you, Chris. You got to have more than one pearl of wisdom for me. Anything about sort of reducing the water usage? I mean, I'm sure you guys have like all this. I don't really know about them, but special shower head things and all these sorts of things. Are there practical things we can
Well,
do like that?
there's lots of things with water. I mean, our saying here is, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's
Okay.
brown, flush it down, right? And this annoys some of the families when these kids get back because they're like, I'm not going to flush the toilet every time I use it. And so that's a good way to save water. And then we do these things called Navy showers here,
Okay.
where you get in and, you kind of soap up and let the water sit until you're ready to rinse off. And so, water is something that's really precious for us. Like I said before, we capture all our water in cisterns. And sometimes the student leader of the day has to report back to the community and say, hey, we only have enough water for the next 13 days. So we have to create conservation here that I think resonates for most kids as they go back home. I'm not going to say they take Navy showers forever,
Yeah.
but they do it once in a while.
No, and that's great. I actually remember when I was in high school, we would go to Andros, and go to the Autech base or whatever it is there, and it was the same thing. You had to do this. You got to go in the shower, came off after 30 seconds. You had to be lathered up by that point. Then you could put it back on for another 30 seconds. So that's great. But I guess any other just thoughts about sustainability here in the Bahamas, where you'd like to see average Bahamians? Do you see there being opportunities? What are your thoughts about sustainability in the Bahamas?
Well, a great story. Our outreach program with the grade 8 kids of the middle school, so the high school older students and the grade 8s were working together to create a recycling program for South Eleuthera with aluminum cans. Because all aluminum cans here go to the dump, just like in most places. And we're actually trying to team up with Ginny McKinney and the Cans for Kids program in Nassau. So it was great. I mean, the kids from the middle school come from all the different settlements, so there's this kind of competition where the kids painted an old 55-gallon drum and encouraged all their neighbors, a lot of them family,
Of course.
to throw cans in, because whoever got the most cans got, I think, the pizza night or something like that.
Yeah.
So
I had been, good opportunities there in Nassau too. If your school's not already involved in the Cans for Kids program, definitely get involved in it. And maybe, if you're a teacher out there, create these sorts of competitions so that you can, between whether it's the classes in your school or these sorts of things, bring up the excitement that can come along with these programs that are really teaching us, that we do have limited resources on the planet and that we've got to use them wisely and essentially not just be abusing them, which again has been in our history what we've been prone to do. Any other last parting words about the island school or the programs going here?
I just want to thank you for giving us this opportunity. I'm really excited you had a chance to talk to Alexio and Stan. Those guys are modeling a new opportunity for Bahamians. We hope that word gets out to everybody. Thanks.
Excellent. Well, thank you, everybody. And please, again, if you are interested in one of these scholarships, you can go onto the Island School website, which is www.islandschool.org. The application forms are on there. And if you have questions, obviously contact them. All of their contact information is on there. But again, I'm just going to put out that plea. If you're in 10th grade, you're in 9th grade, think about the economic opportunities for yourself and really the great potential that comes if you become involved with these sorts of programs and start trying to get your grades up to the level where you're going to be one of these scholarship winners. So thank you, Chris, for being on the show, and good night, everybody.
Talking food is a very serious thing. Talking food is a crying shame. Talking food, it will taste your blood. For talking food will leave you lying in the mud. Harry talking food, Jimmy looking in the head. He breaks you the bush crying, oh Lord, I got dead. It's my and short, she come running out the hall.